Alafia. This is Yaya Fini with our Teaching Tuesday. Today, of course, we're still talking about Ogun. We're going to talk today about the Ogunda Meji. Ogunda Meji, one of the stories in Ogunda Meji, which speaks on the energy of friendship, of entrepreneurship, of courage and valor. And sometimes people don't know that Ogun is the energy of entrepreneurship. People who are in business of their own give great honor to Ogun because they have to be courageous. You work overtime, you work beyond the time slot or the 9 to 5 or whatever your hours are. So Ogun knows that it requires daring, courage, going out on a limb, not surrendering. And so all the entrepreneurs give honor to Ogun, call his name. Ogun is the energy today that we're speaking about, the importance of always remembering friendship, camaraderie, getting along. And so, as the story goes, Elegba was fishing, trying to fish, and every time he would put the line in the water, he would pull a blank. Nothing would come up, and he was getting very frustrated. He had been sitting there all day. Well, passing by was his friend Ogun. Ogun was on his way to the farm, and Ogun said, "Oh, you seem very frustrated, my brother Eshu. What's the matter?" Eshu said, "I am trying to get some fish, and these fish somehow is a problem to me." So he said, "Okay, let me see, what are you trying to fish with?" So Elegba had a pole and a string. And he says, "Okay, let me try to figure out something here." So Ogun, being the owner of metal and understanding the science of bending metal and pressing it, he came up with a hook. He made a hook, a fish hook. And with that, he said, "Try this." And Elegba tried it on, and instantly Elegba started catching all kinds of fish, big fish, little fish, fish that he could even throw back. And so Elegba started scaling the fish, sitting down to eat his fish, and Ogun said, "Wait a minute. This fish is as much mine as yours, because if it wasn't for me giving you the tools to catch this fish, you would still be sitting on the bank." And Eshu didn't like that very much. He said, "Well, I caught it." And Ogun said, "Well, the hook was mine." And so they continued arguing back and forth, and they could not come up with a solution. They got louder and louder, and passing by was Obatala, who is the energy of peace and camaraderie, but most of all, wisdom. And so Obatala heard Elegba's side, and Obatala heard Ogun's side, and he says, "Okay, the best thing for me to do to settle this argument is, in fact, both of you own the fish." So Obatala cut the fish in half and said, "Eshu, here is your half. Ogun, here is your half." And so the story, the moral of this apateki of Ogunda Meji, it says that you always have to be very careful of doing favors to others without being clear as to the repercussions that come with it. And also it helps us to understand that when you are in a situation where there are two sides and both sides feel that they're right, you should always involve or welcome or look for the voice of wisdom. Sometimes it means calling someone who has a cooler head. Sometimes it means calling someone that's not directly involved. But at the end of the day, Ogunda Meji is saying, be careful of doing favors, as well as always open up your heart, your mind, and your spirit to always knowing that wisdom prevails. And so on this Teaching Tuesday, you have a wonderful Ogun celebration. And in celebration of Ogun, the energy of entrepreneurship, every one of you entrepreneurs, my desire is that you go out there and catch your fish. Have a beautiful day. Odabo.